Mr. Mukandila, who is also Patriotic Front member, says the notice is an assault to the tenets of good governance in the country. He says the notice is also prejudicial to the procedures and processes that are underway in court regarding Matero Member of Parliament Mal Sampa's case. Mr. Mukandila says the notice further affects the internal affairs of political party affairs, which should be guided by the party constitutions, adding that the citizens should not support it.
A society will decide to start attacking internal organizations, internal functions of clubs, notwithstanding the fact that the core issue when registering any society comes in as a constitution of that particular club. The reason is simple. The constitution of a particular club guides the operations of that club. If you intend, if the law intended that these clubs should be managed by the registrar of society in terms of the internal affairs, the law would have been created or passed in that same vein.
Further, Mr. Mukandila has charged that the creation of the Advisory Committee on Election Management is a violation of the Constitution.
Commissions that are stated or created in the Constitution, Article 216B has provided for the independence of all commissions that are a creation of this Constitution that we have, which is Act number 2 of 2016. The independence, do we have that independence today? Where we are seeing the Electoral Commission of Zambia having another body, committee created that they are calling an advisory committee.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, has warned vendors who have illegally returned to the streets that they risk being prosecuted. Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the local authority is aware that some vendors have opted to return to some streets due to inadequate patrols by council police. Ms. Mwamba says traders in the city must take note that street vending is illegal because it poses a risk on public health. Therefore, their continued desire to trade from the streets will not be condoned. She notes that despite having limited human resource to provide effective patrols by council police, the local authority will not relent in its efforts of ensuring that vendors operate in designated trading places. Ms. Mwamba has further called on cooperating partners to come on board to assist in ensuring effective policy enforcement of street vending.
Traders in the city must note that street vending is illegal because it poses a risk on public health. Therefore, their continued desire to trade from the streets would not be condoned. Despite having limited human resource to provide effective patrols by council police, the local authority would not relent in its efforts of ensuring that vendors operate in designated areas.
Transparency International Zambia and Chapter 1 Foundation have appealed to the Ministry of Justice to provide clear direction on how it intends to engage the citizens on constitutional review process without further delay. Speaking on behalf of the two organizations, TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe has expressed concern over the lack of communication from the government about constitutional review process and about the inertia on the part of the executive to facilitate the provision of a clear roadmap on the subject matter. Mr. Nyambe says democracy is meant to promote and protect good governance, and substantial piecemeal amendments to the Constitution through the enacting of legislation without necessary stakeholder engagement takes away the opportunity for citizens to have a meaningful people-driven constitution. He says in the absence of a clear statutory framework, the process of debate of the bills in Parliament risks altering the nature and character of what the citizens wish to see in the final constitution.
In the absence of a clear statutory framework that protects the process and the content of the final draft constitution from manipulation, the process of debate of the bills in Parliament risks altering the nature and character of what the people of Zambia wish to see in the final constitution. If that happens, it is the Zambian people who will be the losers once again. We therefore make an earnest appeal to the government in general and the Ministry of Justice in particular to provide this clear direction on how the government intends to engage the people of Zambia on this issue without further delay.
Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU National Coordinator Gabriel Paulin has noted the need to reduce the cost of attending to disasters by taking early action at the right time and place. Speaking on the sidelines of the 3-day conference, Dr. Paulin, who is attending the Global Dialogue Platform on Anticipatory Action Conference in Berlin, Germany, said the conference was looking at ways in which resources can be moved towards anticipatory action in order to improve efficiency and response to multiple disasters. He stressed that taking anticipatory action will fundamentally reduce the cost of attending to disasters by taking early action at the right time. Dr. Paulin pointed out that as a representative of the Zambian government, he was sharing experiences from Zambia and at the same time learning systems from different countries.
If you look at the entire disaster management continuum, I think the idea is to look at ways in which resources can be moved towards anticipated action in order to improve efficiency and response to the multiplicity of disasters. Fundamentally, what that will do is also reduce the cost of attending to disasters by undertaking early action at the right time, at the right place, and therefore diverting resources in an optimal manner.
In other stories trending this afternoon, an environmental protection activist, Abel Musumali, has expressed dissatisfaction with the marginal 0.2% budgetary increase for environmental protection, which has risen from 0.6% in 2023 to 0.8% in 2024. Community Action Against Corruption has advised the UPND administration and senior party members to refrain from making statements that could be misinterpreted by mocking Zambians. Up next, business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry has joined other stakeholders in applauding President Hakainde Hichilema for instructing the Ministry of Energy Permanent Secretary Peter Mumba to conduct a comprehensive review of the monthly fuel pump pricing system. The Chamber says this directive demonstrates a sincere dedication to tackling the challenges arising from fluctuation fuel prices, which have had a destabilizing impact on the economy. The Chamber is eagerly anticipating engaging with the relevant authorities, including the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, to discuss and implement this recommendation in the best interest of the nation's economy. It says transitioning to a quarterly review cycle will undoubtedly offer businesses a more conducive environment for financial planning, pricing strategies, and investment decisions. This is according to a statement issued by the Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Secretariat. In foreign news, South Africa is ready to mediate in the conflict between Israel and the Palestinian territories, says President Cyril Ramaphosa. He is calling for an immediate ceasefire and says his country can draw on its experience on conflict resolution in Africa and beyond. Mr. Ramaphosa added in the statement on Thursday. In sports news, Benny Ecclestone, the former boss of Formula One, has admitted fraud after failing to declare more than £400 million held in a trust in Singapore. The 92-year-old billionaire did not disclose the trust to the government in July 2015. Appearing at Southwark Crown Court on Thursday, he told the judge, "I plead guilty," after having previously pleaded not guilty. And now, the weather. Northwestern, Eastern, Lusaka, Copperbelt, Machinga, Northern, and Luapula provinces, including the western parts of Western and eastern parts of the Central Province, are partly cloudy, humid, windy at times, warm to hot, and very hot in the valley areas, with a chance of isolated showers over northwestern, Mwinilunga, and surrounding areas. That item brings us to the end of the news. Before we go, a recap of the top stories. Permanent secretaries urged to achieve zero audit queries to render PAC redundant. Vendors who have illegally returned to the streets warned. And South Africa offers help in the Israel-Gaza conflict. For these and more stories, you can follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM Radio. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Grace Msimuko. Do stay blessed and have a pleasant afternoon. And do remember that right after this news bulletin, we will be going off air for